Have you ever experienced medical symptoms? You've been infected with
bad hair disease.
bleach exposure can have several side effects, even for those too vapid to notice. Symptoms may include identity loss, feeling incompatible with your older self, even if it worked well. To make things worse, new things will also make you struggle and fail, and as the bleach makes its way towards your vibranius, you may also develop an interest in gaudy, tacky things, which may work against your poor motor skills. Stay safe. Hi everyone. Yes, hello once again to you viewers. It has been quite a while, a lot longer than I would have liked, but here right now in this moment I am back, and as promised, I hope you've all been abstaining from YouTube and the internet during my absence. Not that I was ever really that good at talking into the camera, but I am kinda rusty since, even though for you it's only been like 2 months since I last uploaded, for me it's been about 3 months, so like a quarter of the year since I sat in front of a camera and talked to an invisible audience, so it's kind of, I'm pretty scared. While I was away, I was thinking long and hard about something that's sort of fun but familiar that I've always wanted to do, and I've always wanted to do a gyaru themed video. I never really had any concrete plans for it, but I remember one time I got a suggestion the first time I showed that I bought this magazine to do a gyaru themed nail art video. Now, personally, I did not have a 2019 e-boy phase where I wore the Vivienne Westwood pearl necklace choker, nor did I paint my nails black. If you were into that, well, I mean, I'm not gonna judge you verbally, but yeah, not my thing. So I've never painted my nails before. However, those of you in the audience seem to have this perverse fascination with watching me fail. So as I am indebted to you, I will endeavor to do that, dearest viewer. Something interesting that I realized while I was preparing for this video is that there aren't any gyaruo characters in animated media. When you think of gyaru characters, right, there's a bunch of side characters, even in really big anime like Saiki K, or there's even a lot more niche ones where gyaru girls are sort of the protagonists of their own shows. But I couldn't even find one example of a gyaru-o character, even as like a side or background character, which I found very odd. Maybe it's a supply and demand thing. Because I've had a lot of free time these days, I've been rewatching a lot of my favorite anime, and one of my favorite comedy anime is Handa-kun. And there was this one episode where he gets amnesia and he suddenly becomes this gaudy womanizer who's really into sparkly things. And I thought, wow, this is such a fun concept. I should do it for one of my videos. Wow. I got this magazine over a year ago, and I showed off a bit in one of my old videos. As I've said before, it is quite not safe for work. I don't recommend I don't recommend reading it if you're underage. I thought it'd be like GQ or something, but nonetheless, there are plenty of safe for work tutorials here that I will try my best to follow, but the instructions are pretty vague. But for the sake of the video, I won't be following any video tutorials online. I want to be authentic to someone reading this in 2008 and sort of just going with the little diagrams. Also, I bought a bedazzler and a bunch of rhinestones because I'm going to really relish this gaudy, tacky lifestyle that I've chosen to indulge in today. And of course, even though this might seem a little humiliating, I don't think there's a better opportunity to put this thing on. So for the sake of the theme, I am finally going to wear this shirt. Okay, so I really regret taking a break in filming after eating spicy noodles because I got really puffy, but well. I bought this GHD hair straightener before I bleached my hair and got yelled at the salon by the assistant girl because it has no heat settings and made my hair visibly smoke, as you can see. I'm not very good at talking to salon people since they're always really cool, and I complimented how she always dressed in yabi and decor every day, and she asked me what was holding me back from trying stuff like that out, and I just said, I honestly don't have anything to plan outfits for since I don't have friends to meet up with more than like once a month at most, and I really gotta learn how to shut up or lie, cause it got really awkward after that. Anyways, the tutorials in Menzeg aren't tutorials at all and are basically useless other than telling you to add volume to the crown and curl inward. It's the first time I filmed myself while doing my hair, so I didn't realize I made all these ugly faces while concentrating. This isn't a tutorial video, by the way, so I'm just going to be talking about whatever anyhow, so I have tubey hair that I've been abusing straight since I was like 11 and emo, so I know from experience it's impossible for me to replicate these styles, so I was just mostly trying to replicate the messy and voluminous look rather than the Final Fantasy hair that I just can't get. The next step was just use hair wax to shape your straightened hair, and I don't really use hair wax, so I just bought one randomly. It's all the same to me. I didn't really do a very good job, but I think the hair wax just ended up adding that textured look that the tutorials hint at by pulling strands of hair into individual little spikes. I was actually more blonde a few weeks ago, but looking myself in the mirror made me physically ill, so I went back and showed them a picture of debut Avril Lavigne, and this is close enough. Speaking of Avril, it annoys me so much every time I open a comment section in a video of her. Conspiracy theories aside, it's always just gross old men talking about how she's not as good as she was when she was a literal child, and that's bad enough. But then you see threads to this day from maliciously insecure adult women talking about how she personally betrayed them because she chose a more feminine style after dropping the skater concept, and there's no one way to perform nonconformity because authenticity isn't something you perform for others. I have strong opinions about this, but I digress. I bought this eyeshadow palette just for this video, so I wasn't really prepared for how to use it and messed up within 5 minutes, and I just decided to not mess with my under eyes in case it would look like someone punched me, which I regret since the end result ended up being a bit underwhelming because I didn't do anything with that. Honestly, the makeup tutorials were really bare bones, so I didn't even read them, and instead went on Pinterest, and I think Yutaka from a band called Golden Bomber had something fun to try and replicate. On video, the look is obviously very underwhelming, but with the silly hair and glitter everywhere, I was really going through it looking in the mirror. I will say though, even though I know this look doesn't look good on me, it was still pretty fun to try. I bought the cheapest nail set on Taobao, and the seller had quite a lot of attitude, but you reap what you sow. It actually came with a lot of things I don't understand, including this UV light and some little tools, and I picked some colors that I thought would match my intro, but I didn't realize how ugly they would look in real life. Of course, I didn't bother studying on how to do nails and just assumed that it'd be really easy, but I already felt a bit nervous seeing how uneven the base coat looked. I had to try the nails on the floor and was worried that it wouldn't look nice on camera, but I realized no part of this looked nice, so I just filmed it anyway. Immediately after painting the first nail, I realized that there was no salvaging this, but that was okay, and so I decided to just try it with a different nail, but that didn't work either, so I tried using the tools, but I didn't really know what they were for, but that's okay too. I thought I could just do a gradient nail or something, but I couldn't, and didn't just want to have 2 failure segments in one video, so I just wiped it off and didn't do the whole bedazzling thing. For me, in my head, I feel like I say this really often, but thank you if you were waiting for me during this little break, if you could call it that, for the past 2 months, or if you're watching this in the far future and I've got like 1 million subscribers or whatever. I hope that you can think about this in a fond way. Conversely, if I retire and you never see me again, the same logic applies. Though it is true though that I've considered quitting social media many times. This is like my 7th time filming, you know, just this video just now. Because it is quite stressful, and the longer you're away, the more afraid you are that it's been too long and there's no one waiting for you. You know, before I came back, I was sort of thinking, oh, should I do one of those why I've been gone 2018 YouTuber videos with the white background and stuff. But I feel like I kind of want to keep the channel light, because I know no one really likes seeing sorry, because I feel like it would be hard to adjust to the tonal whiplash of me explaining my struggles with, you know, coming back and dealing with like sort of stress and grief and all that stuff. Maybe I'll talk about it someday, but it's kind of hard to talk about it here. So yeah, that's my brief little allusion to why I've been away. Okay. But sometimes I already feel like I'm emotionally blackmailing you people to watch me and to pay for my memberships. It's fine if you can't subscribe to that every month. I do not take offense. It's okay. Stop apologizing to me. I think the people that I would like to apologize to the most are my channel members, because you're paying me to do nothing, basically. So even though this might be a bit embarrassing for you, not for me, I am going to read out your names in front of the camera for everyone who opted in for shoutout, even the ones who don't usually get verbal shoutouts. So yeah. So a dear thank you to Annette Worigori, Zeno, Belncito, Chikyo Kinesis, Angeli, Chatbuggy, Milk Tea, Estelle, Jenny, Bonnie Bread, and Skylar. And of course the tier 2 members: Zoe Wowie 28, Danielle C9, Kari, Ray, Tina, Katie, Caden, Sailor, Buggums, me, Chloe, K-Ski, Nix, Sacred Hyacinth, Bobohu, Leonidas, Triz, and Jana. Of course this goes without saying, but even those of you who didn't opt in for shoutouts, I thank you a lot, and I apologize for, you know, not being around as much as I would like to. And if you would like to support my channel and help me break even on videos, then please consider joining my channel membership. Aside from shoutouts, you get badges of superiority next to your name and comment, fun emojis that I make myself that members decide on, access to tens of hours of my low quality side content, and early access to videos on higher tiers, all at a starting price of 99 cents or the equivalent in your region. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.